All right. Shalom, shalom. I want to start by, of course, giving our honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, Mashanakabad, Lahasaquim, Sharakadabakah, which is giving double honor to the elder apostle, great millstone, who rule well and teach well. Shalom to all you brothers, just well as you sisters might be tuning in, listening, and learning. And, just getting right into it. Is going into, famine, you know, um, going into a famine, which is approaching. It's approaching with the rising gas prices, rising, you know, um, prices of food, mainly, but even the gas prices, dealing with the diesel, you know, um, that's how, a lot of these foods are transported. It's through those big old trucks, semi trucks that they don't take regular fuel, they need diesel fuel, so if it comes a crisis of diesel, a shortage of diesel fuel, that's one of the problems that people have to deal with concerning the famine. Because they wouldn't be able to get those various foods to the nearest markets, near the communities near the cities. But I got this article from RT News. Um, reads EU food prices continue to soar. Data. So yeah, it says EU food prices continue to soar. It's like, um, what that America is a part of the EU. You see, um, bear with me for a second. Yeah, yeah. The EU, you know, is pretty much the what's the word for it? Like the market part of the you know the the you know what's the word I'm looking for, alliance. It's like the market part. Which was uh which was former called the European Economic Communion. Which dealt with the finance. Which you also have the NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which was created to pretty much combat Russia, the Soviet Union, and then um, the European Union being that market part of the alliance, between um, Babylon, I mean, America and several other countries, Britain, I think is in Britain, if I'm not mistaken, France, usually a couple. But pretty much it says EU food prices continue to soar. It says the cost of essentials, right, in France and Spain keeps rising, according to the Bloomberg uh, food index. It says food prices in France and Spain are continuing their relentless rise as the worst cost of living crisis in a generation rages across the EU, according to the data published by the Bloomberg on Monday. It says the cost of the main groceries needed to cook the French dish. They just given an example. Quai Vin soared 15.4% in March to more than 19 e, you know uh, $21 compared to the same period a year ago, according to the data from the National Statistics Office and the Ministry or Agriculture, the Nutrition. It says France is the top consumer of the poultry in the EU. The cost of chicken, the main ingredient in a traditional dish, surged by about 18%, carrots by 33%. So, Ain't no more. These prices surging up by like a 1% every year. It used to be like 1-2%, but now since all the stuff been going on, the COV and all these vaccine mandates, and now they talking about the prices of food going up by 33, 18%. That's that's these we are in warlike times, man. You know, these are all signs of war. It says butter grain 23%, 23.9%, and even wine, which saw the slowest price increase, soared by 8.4 percent on an annual basis. It says the cost of living crisis has deepened in France, according to the recent report by statistics. But I'm not gonna read the rest, but it just goes to show, the price of living, the price of food going up, stress levels going up. It just goes to show you what type of time we're in. These are all signs of the times. Once again, you know, but keeping the topic, on the famine, that's gonna be one of the main that's gonna be one of the main things, one of the main plays that the Lord is gonna use to wipe out a lot of people, you know. But this is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 11. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven, right? From heaven, which goes to show, once again mentioning those plagues, where do they come from? They come from on high. You see, they come from our power, Yahweh Shemi Shah. You see, um, this is book of Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 11. It says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm, and smite with plagues, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." Right. So once again, just like the Lord had it in the midst of Egypt, the Lord was smiting the Egyptians with plagues, with famine, darkness, you know, uh, um, you know, uh, 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 all types of death, man. You see, but in the midst of that, He was delivering, you know, uh, um, you know, His chosen man. He was delivering, you know, uh, you know, the Israelites during the time, and it's the same thing in this Egypt, which that Egypt in the Hebrew, Mizraim, and it means to bondage, you know. I'm sorry, my Tazayar, my Tazar, my Tazar. I always get this mixed up. My Tazayarium, Slakia. But it says, let me read this again. This book, Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 11. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand, and I will stretch out, and a stretched out arm. The Lord is going to deliver. You know, uh, and smite Egypt with plagues. Right. It says as before, and right. That's the thing. That's the point. As before, because he did it before, but now it's time for him to do it again. In this captivity, you see, it says, it says, uh, it says and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences. This book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 11 again. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall be from heaven. This is the book of Joel, chapter 1 verse 16. It says, "It's not the meat cut off before our eyes, yeah, joy and gladness from the house of our power. Right, because eating is in you can put eating in the same line, in the same context as mirth, is being filled, what I mean, filling the belly, that brings joyfulness, eating, you see. But you understand, like when you haven't ate, what I mean, that's when you start getting grumpy, what I mean. Stuff start to smell like food, what I mean. They ain't got nothing to do with food. Start smelling like, what I mean, your favorite dish, and these people gonna be going crazy, man. You know, it says, is not the meat cut off before our eyes, and that's what's getting ready to happen. The meat, the food, the vegetables and the drinks, the wine, all these things are, slowly but surely, being taken before our sight, man. Um, got Jeff Bezos, buying up all of these farms, what's left of them, because you just a couple years ago you had, you know, all these farms, being burnt up, and what I mean, the crops being destroyed. What a coincidence, right? Um, around the same time, Jeff Bezos went around buying them, and then just recently you had about, what was it, 18 or 28,000, something like that, 28,000, um 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 and what was it, buffaloes or something like that was killed in the factory explosion. You know, this is the book of Ezekiel chapter 14 verse 13. It says, "Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it." Right. The scriptures say, thy sins has reached to the heavens. Paraphrasing. You know, sin upon sin, man. This kingdom is filled with iniquity. You got all type of iniquities going on. The men dressing up like women. You know, women trying to play the role of a man. You know, um, these fucking Edomites. You know, and man, a lot of man people out here dealing with animals, and I mean actually dealing with them, and all type of wickedness going on, man. That's against the heavenly Father, man. You know, it says, "Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by transgressing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof." So this is, famine that is approaching, right? Um, it's gonna be of the Lord once again, man. You know, it says, it says, "And I have called." It's like it says, it says, "Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and I will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it." So, hey, that 28,000, I think it was buffaloes, or these farms that keep getting burnt up in the flame, or the diesel fuel train that collapsed, or Jeff Bezos buying out all of these, you know, um, farmlands, and you know, building up these bugged out 3D printed food machines. That's all of the Lord, man. You know, the Lord said that He will break the staff of the bread. You see, and in doing that, He can put a spirit upon the kings to do so. You know, however, the Lord said that He was going to break the staff of the bread. That's how it's going to happen. So when a famine comes, it doesn't matter how it happened. It was of the Lord. You see, it says, it says, it says, and will break the staff of the bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will and will cut off man and beast from it. Right, it's gonna be hard for people to hunt down animals to eat. You know, a lot of these animals they defiled, got diseases and sick. Don't don't forget about the the toxic waste that that spilled from the train. You're gonna have a lot of animals going, eating and drinking under the defiled, you know, uh, 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 you know, uh, water or land where we're in, that toxic waste was disposed of, and then that's gonna cause more problems. You see, but it says I'm gonna go to I'm gonna get this one to close out. I'm gonna get this one to close out because we were just reading an article about how the how the prices were going up, right? The prices of living and the prices of food, right? This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21, and verse 33. It says, and if a man shall, it's like it. That's not it. This book of Second Kings, like chapter 6 and verse 25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head. And you got to realize every time there was a famine, going on in the midst of the land, there was also a war, disagreement, conflict, all these things went on in the midst of famine, you know. Um, it's gonna be a lot of division, man. It's a lot of division now. It's what more, you know, um, when the time of famine comes. Your last piece of bread, and you looking at your, what I mean, you looking at your family member like, man, I'm hungry, but he hungry too. That's going. Hey, man, the Lord is getting ready to fucking, just obliterate this thing, man. You see, it says, Second Kings chapter 6 verse 25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, right? And the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung, dung meaning shit, you see, for 5 pieces of silver, selling pieces of shit for silver, man. You know, which while I'm pretty sure while the economy was booming in Samaria, 5 pieces of silver would go for, maybe what I mean. I'm guessing, but like, you know, you know, five, like maybe like 20 pieces, pieces of animal. You see, but when you're in the midst of a famine, you know, you know, you on your last, so it's like everything, goes for a outrageous price, because the quality, because of the quality of it, you know, um, or if I'm mistaken, the quantity on Slovakia. But that was pretty much on that. Yeah, I'm gonna read this one more time. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, right? That meaning there was war going on, during the time, besieging cities and taking over certain lands and you know um how that go in the midst of war. We about to see the same thing today. It says until hey, and you already got that going on. With those Walmart looting. You know, people already what I mean, looting these several marketplaces. It says until an ass's head was sold for 4 score pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of Dutch dung for 5 pieces of silver. You know, but that's what's coming again, man. For the last time. In history. We'll see a famine. You know, until we get the kingdom. But Lord's willing to edify the body of a short shot. Forgive me a spiritual lesson. Till next time, I say shalom, blah, 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 blah.